The New York Jets defeated the Atlanta Falcons for our third win of the year. We're going to talk about it tonight, so let's get fired up. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. The Jets have gotten their third win of the year, and I can't wait to talk about it. Apologies for being a little bit late, and apologies for the programming change. I was going to have Jake Asman on tonight, but he got called in to do some ESPN radio today, and then ended up being able to go to the game tonight on ESPN's dime. So we have had to reschedule him. We're going to try to get him on next week. I will keep you guys informed once I confirm with him. At any rate, yes, I was a little bit late. Just prior to the show, I had a quick bathroom break, and as I was washing my hands, all of a sudden I hear this noise, and just like Brees Hall, that toilet just kept on running. I guess our floater is broke and the tank overflowed, so that'll give me a nice to-do project for tomorrow. But at any rate, that was the reason I was late. But let's get on to the Jets game. Ironically, at the end of the night, Sunday night, there was only one receiver in the NFL who went over 100 yards this week, and that was A.D. Mitchell. A.D. Mitchell had a really good bounce-back game. It would be nice if we could get our two young receivers on the same page at the same time. First Mitchell had the drops, and Mechie looked good. This game, Mitchell looked good. Mechie had some drops. However, this is the thing, and everybody has said, we got a really good deal in that Sauce trade. Okay. 2 first-rounders plus A.D. Mitchell. And all this time we've been saying, oh, yeah, we made these trades and we got these players as throw-ins. But that's not exactly true. And we had heard that the initial offer was the 2 firsts for Sauce, but the Jets insisted that they include A.D. Mitchell. Why would the Jets insist that they include A.D. Mitchell? Obviously, he was a good player coming out of college. I scouted him myself. I was very high on A.D. Mitchell. Speaking of, I'm to be very high on him right now, too. He's a very good receiver. Always liked his ability to separate. At any rate, Aaron Glenn elaborated this week, and he said he was not a throw-in. That was a player we wanted. And he said, A.D. Mitchell, he's from my hometown. He went to school with my daughter, and we scouted this player, and Glenn has been all over A.D. Mitchell for a while now. Went to school with his daughter. So by no means was that a throw-in. He wanted that player, targeted that player, and I think we're seeing why. He's just starting to kind of scratch. He has. Unfortunately for him in Indianapolis, a lot of people thinks he got benched because of the dropping the ball before the end zone, the Corley play, which that probably certainly didn't help his cause any. But with Alex Pierce all of a sudden emerging, they've already got Pittman, they've got Josh Downs, they drafted Tyler Warren, who is like a target monster. They're throwing him the ball. There just wasn't a place for A.D. Mitchell, and that's not a knock on him. But now he's getting the opportunity. With Garrett Wilson out, he's facing number one corners every week, and he had a good performance this week. His ability to create separation and the speed that he has where he can run by guys, that's going to pay huge benefits. I only wish that we could see him with Garrett on the field at the same time. It'll be really nice to have somebody that can attract some attention to free Garrett up a little bit more. Other parts of the game, run game was good. I'll tell you what, when they muffed that punt and we got the ball down at the goal line, everybody always says, like, Braylon Allen is our third down back, or / goal line back. But you know what? That offensive line created a great push, and Breece Hall, I think he was expecting contact at the line. He practically fell into the end zone because they opened a big old hole for him, which was great to see. And while I did kind of second guess this coaching staff when they took Tippmann and moved him from center to guard, because he was one of the higher rated centers, I questioned the move, but he has been an even better guard than he has the center. And, kudos to them. Like, they made the right call. He's looked like a beast this year. But I'm going to go ahead and get right into some phone calls. Lumpy, man, how you doing? Okay, let me try this again. Yeah, StreamYard is acting funky right now. Like, on my screen, it's saying that you're on the screen, but I don't see you on my screen.
There we go. It's the Lumpy Show now. How you guys doing? I see Rick Kent. I see Fox Sports, East Zone. How you guys doing? Listen, I'm back. This is like a flash. Here we go, Ricky. Here we go, Ricky. Here we go. I'm out. Just when I thought they were taking me out, they bring me back in. Can you hear me now, Ricky? Can you hear me?
Okay, and I guess he's gone. Lumpy, try leaving and coming back in. And okay, wait, there you are. There you are. All right, man. Now we got you.
Here I am. Merry Christmas. Let me tell you, they were in the right direction, though. Did not really like the hiring.
What is on your mind as far as the Jets and as far as this game we just played?
Dude, anybody who says that they want to hear anybody win, if you're a fan, you're not a fan then. You don't know what's going to happen in the draft. You need to see a building of the culture, a building of what they expect from the coaching staff, from the players.
Now I don't have you again.
Can you guys hear me?
All right, StreamYard is acting up right now. It's acting kind of funky. Luppy, try leaving and coming back in again. Okay, now you're back again. Let me try this one more time. Or nope, he's leaving and coming back. Okay. Anyways, when he comes back, we'll try to get him right back here. And as I was going to say before, the running game has looked really good for the Jets. The defense has been playing better. And we will see. We will see if we can continue to win games. Like me personally, I'm not part of the tank crowd. I want to win games regardless.
Pat Cooper here. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Am I here?
I can hear you. I can hear you now, Luppy. Go ahead, man.
There we go. Yay! A Wi-Fi tribute. Yes. Hell yeah! There you go, Jamie's. I just got to say though, like everybody's saying, you know, you got to win. If you're a fan, you want them to win. You want to build a culture. You want them to learn how to win. This is what this season was about. I was not all on board with the hiring. I had some, I didn't want another defensive first-time coach. You're seeing the progression, even though he's still got his, problems, I think, speaking to the media, the way he's going about it. But you see progression, which is great, and I'm happy with that. What about you?
Me as well. Like, there have been some hiccups, like you said, but to me, they're just normal first-time head coach hiccups, like stuff's going to happen. But there has been progress. And, whether it's Isaiah Williams, who looked as bad as you could possibly imagine, going to being one of the better returners, whether it's Brandon Stevens. I mean, there's a number of players I could point to, but yeah, I mean, we've seen progress. The penalties have come down. The run defense has gotten better. We've seen progress, so I'm happy with that. And yeah, man, like I'm.
And at the end of the game, he kicked the field goal instead of going for it on fourth down. That was nice.
Yeah, and this is the cool thing too. Is after we won that game, the game ball to Nick Folk, who 18 years ago was Aaron Glenn's teammate on the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, but that's Muji though. Muji is sticking the
2007. Yeah, he was the Cowboys kicker, and Glenn was their corner. They were on the same team together. And now here it is 18 years later, and Glenn is his coach. So
that's Muji, though, too, putting together a team, though, a team of veterans, a team of rookies that can blend together well as a team. And he's building a team, something we haven't seen in a little bit. So, you got to give Muji a little bit of props for that. We'll see how it goes, in the draft. But, yeah, so far, so good.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the way they're building this team. And, listen, we did not, trade Sauce and Quinnen for all those draft picks just to sit around. Like, if we want, a quarterback, we've got the ammo to go up and get him. So I could care less about tanking. I want to win as many games as we possibly can. And how about this? We're going to win as many games as we can. And if we want a quarterback at the end of the day, we've got the ammo to go up and get one. So how about this? We're going to win some games and still get our quarterback.
Now that is a hot take. Damn.
But how about this? You don't hear anything about Sauce Gardner or Quentin Williams. What happened? We still got 2 first rounds for both of those. I mean, we're set up, and yeah, they were great players, but I think a couple of years ago, I think they were deteriorating a little bit. You could see it. Sauce Gardner, his tricks were done. Quentin Williams seemed like he was defeated on this team. I hope nothing but the best for those guys because I was rooting for them. But I think we got a good return for what we needed to do as a team. And he gets. Look at the guy who just caught the touchdown pass, which we haven't had that that big of a reception in what was it, 4 or 5 years or something. I mean, it was a
Yep.
52-yard reception for a touchdown. I mean, we got something in that guy. We do, and
That
to get that thrown in the deal, I mean, you got to be excited about that.
Yeah, that was really nice. And the ball was not really a great ball either. It was kind of underthrown a little bit. He had to kind of slow down and go back for it.
Right.
But credit to him, he made the
Yeah.
catch.
Tyrod made a read, and he actually threw the ball.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
not
I
what
know.
we used to.
You know
So
what was great is watching the game back. Like he catches the touchdown, and then they cut to like the sideline of Justin Fields, and he's going, and they're like, "Oh, Justin Fields likes that," and I'm like, "Hell, I bet he does like that." It's probably the first time he's seen a ball get thrown downfield all fucking year.
I guess
Because he
Justin
wasn't
Fields
out
Justin Fields is not Taylor Swift. I guess
there. Yeah,
you go right to that person.
I don't even know why they bothered to cut to him.
Well, that's why they wanted a reaction. They wanted somebody to be like, maybe he could do something bad, and we can like put it in the fucking press or some shit. That's what they do to the Jets. You know that.
Oh
They're
yeah,
trying to make
yeah.
something bad spin on it, but the guy's cheering, so it shows that Glenn has the whole team behind him, even the people that he benched. You know, so
Yeah.
I was not a Glenn guy. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. I think I wanted to date somebody who was established. So he's learning on the job, and I wanted to see progress. And the first 6 weeks there it was not, but these last few weeks, yeah, seriously, he's been doing the right thing. I mean, he actually made the decisions. A couple, he threw the flag when he needed to, and I think he's on his way. Either he's got the great people listening to him, or he's been in there before. I don't know what it is, but I'm all right. I'm good where we are right now. And I didn't expect us to go to the Super Bowl this year. Didn't expect the playoffs this year. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers, that decision. Some people saying, yeah, that would have been a nightmare if he was here. You know that. If he
Oh
would have
God,
been calling
yeah.
people out. Imagine him when they traded Sauce Gardner and they traded Quentin Williams. I mean, what would it be
Oh
going
my
on right
God.
now? I mean, what the hell would be going on now? So,
If we started 0-7, he probably would have done 5 different McAfee shows tearing this team apart before those trades ever even happened. Like it was never going to work with Rodgers here. Like
mhm.
Glenn is a big personality, Rodgers is a big personality, and you can
It just
only at the end of the day you can only have one guy calling the shots. And
right.
like Aaron Glenn said, I don't want to be telling the guys something and they're turning around and looking to the back of the room at you. And that's exactly what would have happened.
I'm going to say it. I wanted Rodgers because I thought he had the best chance to win. But what they're building here, what they're trying to start from scratch, my only issue was that Glenn was such a Fields guy that we're going to turn around. It's about coaching. It's about this. I guess then the NFL slapped him in the face and said, hey, you're a first timer. This is what it's about. So now he reset and maybe starting to grow. So,
well, like we all have kind of said, out of the options that were out there, Fields looked like he had the most upside. Like no one could have predicted that he would regress.
Yeah, but you don't sit there and say that I'm going to change him. This is the guy. You don't do that. You don't.
Well,
the way he was
I mean,
so boisterous on it.
I get where he was coming from. Like that's the part where I think when he was saying that, he was speaking more so Justin Fields would hear it rather than us.
I think he was being a salesman to Justin Fields and the Jet fan.
Yeah, I think he was trying to boost Fields' confidence, and sadly it didn't work. That guy is just unhelpable. I get it. I think I do agree. I think he went a little bit far with it, But at the same time, like, I get it. If you got a quarterback who's got confidence issues, you got to try to say or do anything you can to build him up and put him in the best position to succeed. But like, dude, he just wasn't it. And
And he did stick with
best
them a little too
attribute
long.
is his legs, and then he's going to refuse to run the Wildcat. He doesn't want to run because he's worried about getting hurt again. And like, so at that point, he's just utterly fucking useless.
I'm going to throw something else.
Pisses me off.
I'm going to throw something else at you, though. I think when he got that concussion early, I think that really affected him too. I've never seen him play that bad, where he's stalling and just freezing in a lot of his reads or throws fields. That I think the injuries really did affect him. What's your take on that? I think there's something to that.
Oh yeah, because it was definitely worse after the injury. I'm going to bring on another caller, and Zach, give us your thoughts on that whole thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I was talking in the chat. Which part were you talking about?
That
Justin Fields. Do you think he was even more gun shy after the injury? Do you think the injury affected him mentally?
Concussion, maybe.
After he came back, he didn't want to run.
I don't disagree at all. Honestly, I think between the concussion and the contusion that he got, I believe on his left leg, his left thigh, kind of scared the bejesus out of him. He's never been an elite processor, but he definitely used to be more of a gamer. And I don't know if it's just a combination of this and the staff asking him to do more, with the 6 inches between his ears, to actually do the thing and move the ball, with his arm rather than having to run it like a running back. All of that kind of collectively working against him. I really don't know.
But he was freezing up in situations. I think that's more of a concussion thing. I really do. I think he got his bell rung and he wasn't right since. I really think that's what it was. I mean, you take the ball and you run when you have the athleticism like he has, and he didn't do that. He just stood there and watched open read after open read, didn't do nothing. You could see it, and there was something wrong there that I've never seen from Fields before that I think was really affected him. I mean, he's not the answer, we know that, but I just think that it tumbled more after he got that concussion. I really think so.
Well, I mean, you can also make the argument that he's had, I think, 4 games this season where he threw for 60 yards or less, and that was also pre-concussion. So, I think he just kind of sucks, and people are using the concussion as an excuse.
True that.
But
but his freezing up though is what I was talking about. Not that he threw shit and didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Just the way he was processing the field got worse.
Sure. Now, I won't disagree.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. Then the freezing, it was really just in that one game, but God, it was bizarre to watch. Like, I've never seen a quarterback that, like, you hear that expression, deer in headlights, but I mean, that's really what he was like, man. Like, I've never seen a quarterback just drop back and just stand there, like, and get belted repeatedly. And man, like, if that's true and he was worried about getting injured or getting hurt again, I maybe understand not running, but dude, throw the ball away, something. Don't just stand there and get rocked over and over again. That's a good way to get concussed again, not to avoid it.
Ricky, you ever watch Trent Edwards play football?
God, I'm sure I have.
that was his
not on purpose.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, there was like, remember back when the Bills had Rob Johnson for a quarterback? He was like that. He wouldn't throw it away because he didn't want to ruin his completion percentage. So he would sit back there and get rocked. And poor guy ended up losing his job to Doug Flutie, and which was bad for us because Flutie actually came in and played well for them that year. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like,
I tell you, though,
comparing a quarterback of ours to a guy like that, it hurts me.
Well, so we're past that. I tell you, though, Tyrod, I mean, his age, throwing the ball around like he is. If we imagine thinking we had a competent quarterback, and then we actually take these draft picks and make something of them, whether it's another quarterback or just filling the roster and having a defense. I mean, we got some good things looking forward to us. And thank you to Muji. I mean, Muji looks like the real deal. He gets Mechie in as a throw-in, and this guy is just like one of the best wide receivers since Garrett. I mean, it's exciting that he does all of these things that that bring us this extra stuff, and it looks like Muji might be the real deal. He's doing the right things, and has he picked anybody that or got anybody or a bad trade so far yet? I haven't seen
the only thing that you could maybe knock him on was the way that they initially attacked free agency with, kind of going the bargain route and getting some cheaper veterans. But you know what? To his credit, he saw that wasn't working. He brought in Phillips and Briggs. He brought in Brownlee, and he's made corrections to the roster. You could.
I think that I don't want to interrupt you, but I think that's an evaluation of the talent. So he needs to get into the building, and he has to evaluate our talent before he can make a big splash. You're not going to bring somebody in that might not fit these guys. So you got to learn these guys in order to make it a team. I think we're making a team.
To sort of build off of that, I would also say that while these late round pick swaps and veteran acquisitions have been surprisingly nice, the waiver wire transactions have been pretty much abysmal. I saw guys just recently got waived, like who's the linebacker, Kaiser White. That'd be a guy I consider bringing in the door. I saw Adam Thielen just got let go. He just went and signed with Pittsburgh, I believe. Lake Tomlinson.
What's the money on those guys, though? What's the money on those guys?
Well, that I don't have off the top of my head, but
I think that's probably why he did that, though. That's what I'm saying.
Thielen is a much older player, and we've heard Glenn say over and over again that it's a young men's game. If you look at even the guys that he's brought in, Briggs, AD and Mechie, like they're all pretty young guys. Mozzie Smith. So I wouldn't expect him to pull the trigger on any older veterans, even if they become available.
Unless they're cheap.
Yeah.
We want to attack this off season and next off season. I think that's where we're going. So he has a plan.
I'm really curious to see what their plan of attack is this off season. For me, if it's a loaded linebacker class. Like for me, like that's someone or I guess a position I would be targeting in the draft, whether it's late first round or early second round. Whether it's Sonny Styles or CJ Allen or Anthony Hill. I mean, any one of those three.
One of those three. I definitely want one of those three.
We're all sharing the brain here on that one. Absolutely.
But you can then also make the argument that he can go in free agency and get his Jack Campbell type of Mike linebacker in a Devin Lloyd type of guy because they have the cap space. But here's the other thing is you can also argue that they should be throwing 18 to 20 mil at a Tyler Linderbaum because more and more, info is coming out that he and the Ravens aren't on the same page and they're probably not going to be able to pay him. So I would bet any amount of money Ravens are going center first round.
That's the first time we dipped in the Ravens fucking pool.
Well, you know what? In some of my more recent mocks, I actually started pulling the trigger on like Connor Lew in the second round to give us another center. But then even later, like, it got to be beginning of the fourth, something like that. Like Jake Slaughter from Florida, if he's still there, even later than that, Luke Petitbon from Florida State, still there.
Florida State, there we go.
Dude, I'll tell you what, I don't know a lot about all the college prospects, but this guy, I mean, like 7-8 weeks in, he had only given up like 2 pressures and no sacks all fucking year, and he's a mauler in the run game. And I'm like, you know what? I can deal with that.
What about pass rusher? We need a pass rusher. We need someone
to use a pass rusher
in many ways.
Damn, we do.
This is a decent, class for pass rushers. There's some good ones at the top. But again, like Romello Height, A&M is a guy that I pulled the trigger on a bunch of times in the second round. I really like that guy's game. Could be an option. But I'll tell you what, out of the players in this draft that, I absolutely like are must have, like, first of all, love Sonny Styles. I would prefer him, but one of those three linebackers, either Hill, CJ Allen, or Styles, we have to take one of them, in my opinion. But the other player that, and at first I was like a Kamari Ramsey guy, then I started watching AJ Halsey. I like him. But dude, the more I've watched and the more games I've gone over, Dylan Thieneman, the fucking safety from Oregon, is like, dude, I almost consider him a must draft player for this team, for our franchise anyway. Dude, this guy is a ball hawk. All those old, tropes that you hear about football players, first in the building, last to leave, gym rat, he's that guy. He's a vocal leader on that team. He's a leader in the secondary, which our secondary could use. But he is a ball hawk, and he's nasty. And I had started to look at him a little bit, but I hadn't gotten real in depth yet. And then Alan brought him up, and I was like, okay, so
now to the stage, Sonny Styles.
Dude, as soon as I started watching the highlights, there was a highlight of him versus Iowa, Allen's team, and the ball like bounces off the receiver's hands and pops up in the air, and he picks it, and I'm like, oh, that's why Allen likes him. He fucking put a whooping on Allen's team.
Rick Kent knows strippers. That's what I hear.
But
anyway, listen, Ricky, we can all say we want this guy, we want that guy, but there's other teams they're going to pick ahead of us, as we win. Yeah. We're going to win. You want to build that kind of culture or whatever you want to call it. But, attitude. That's what I like to say. We're building an attitude, which is I like. But, I respect, and right now we got to give Muji the opportunity, and we have to give Muji the, respect or the nod, because so far he's done good. And I think that he'll make the right decisions come draft day, and we'll find out, because this is what it's about. I really want to see what we do the rest of the year. I don't give a shit about the picks, because Muji will make it happen if he can do it, because that's what good GMs do. I mean, Josh Allen wasn't picked first overall. I mean, this is what happens. Mahomes wasn't picked first overall. This is what happens. So you got these guys who fit our system, and I think Muji's building a team, and I think that all of these flashy guys are great, but I think when he gets to it, he picks the guys that'll fit our system, even if they're throw-ins, like the Minchie, the wide receiver. I like that.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? That's the thing. And the anti-Glenn group will tell you, like, yeah, but Glenn, kept these players that he should have gotten rid of: Tony Adams, Michael Clements, etc. But dude, we couldn't.
Clements got a sack. Clements got a sack. Clements got a sack. Oh my God! I wouldn't like that. I'm like,
kind of.
What the hell am I watching? I mean, Bizarro World? What's going on? That's what I was like.
Kind of. The quarterback kind of got pushed into him, but
he had somebody on him, and he like pushed him on. It was legit. Come on, that was crazy. He had somebody on him, and
yes, even Michael Clements has shown some mild improvement.
Not saying to keep him. I'm just saying. He got him.
You know what? Ironically, the two guys that I think will be gone that have been atrocious all year, Michael Clements and Tony Adams both had sacks in this game. How fucking bizarre is that? They're talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but it was nice to see Tony Adams knock someone on their ass who was in a different uniform for a change.
As Aaron Glenn would say, it was coaching.
So let me bring this situation to your guys' attention here, right? Because I'm starting to see more and more of the rumors, because the Jets are, screwing themselves out of a better pick. Obviously, yeah, we all want to see wins, but at the end of the day, if you're picking 8 to 10 and there's like one fucking quarterback to go up and get, then you're going to have to trade up, right? So the rumor is that this guy on Twitter, Robinson Whitmore, this dude is connected. He's an NFL draft insider, part of PS Scouting Services of America. His connections are telling him that the Jets are internally discussing a trade to get up to number 1 overall, and that Tennessee ain't going to be picking first overall, regardless of who trades out with them, whether it's the Jets, Cleveland, the Raiders, possibly the Rams, because they want their guy of the future.
Well,
and,
the Rams have 2 firsts,
and so does Cleveland. But right now, Cleveland's ahead of the Jets with the seeding. So, it's like, how far down do they want to go in order to still be able to get one of their guys? There aren't many blue chip prospects in this draft class. So, you got to think, like, it's nice to think that they're going to get, all of these lofty looking prospects, but the reality is that they're not going to end up having 2 first-round picks, and they may not even end up having 2 second-round picks, if any, in order to go up and get their guy. If that's the
now, that's where I would draw the line. I could see giving up, our other first this year, but I wouldn't give up anything further than that.
But I don't think anybody can give up what we can give up if we believe in the guy, though.
But you also got to like you got to scale it. You have to scale it, right?
You got to believe the guy, though.
I mean, so there's belief, right? So I believe in God, right? The Father Almighty, the Maker of heaven and earth, of all of the seen and unseen.
Take all my picks.
But there's variations of belief.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a scenario. You're Darren Muji, okay? Tennessee tells you, we want your other first this year and one of your first next year, and maybe another, day 3 pick or something. Would you tell them no, or would you make the trade? Like me personally, I wouldn't give up that much. I've actually started doing some mocks now where I didn't take a quarterback at the top, because now picking 7, like, a lot of times Mendoza, Simpson are gone by that point.
I think as a structure, you have your limit, and that's what you're going to do, because you have a plan going into it.
Yeah, I started taking Jaden Mayava, the USC quarterback, in the 2nd round a couple of times. Dude, the quarterback that I really like, that I would pull the trigger on, like a 2nd round or something, would be Darian Mensah. But I just found out, or I just realized rather, that
he's 20.
The NIL money he got was actually a 2-year contract that they gave him, so he's still got NIL money next year, and so I didn't realize that before.
I'm sorry. I say you hold your line on what you want to give to get the first round pick. But if it fails, there's plenty of veteran quarterbacks that you can give other teams your first round draft pick in order to get somebody in there, a veteran quarterback in this state where the Jets have a bunch of young people inside there in order to do it, a la like the LA Rams did, with Stanford.
Right. Luppy, did I just hear you suggest that they're going to trade a first round pick for a quarterback?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is going to do that?
Nobody's going to do that. There's a Bengal quarterback out there, isn't there?
You'd have to.
They're not going to pay him.
If not 4 first-round quarterbacks.
Oh, they'd have to. Yeah, you'd have to give up a minimum of 3 to get Burrow here.
I'm just saying, there's a scenario where you can get a quarterback, or just go through to the next year, because next year we have first rounds as well.
Not to mention the dead money cap hit that they'd have to take on. It would never happen. It would never happen.
I think we have we have a lot of money right now, don't we?
You're Tennessee.
Bengals.
Yeah, say you're Tennessee and I'm Darren Muji, and I say, look, I'm not giving you one of our firsts from next year, but I'll tell you what, I'll give you our first, the Colts first this year, and Will McDonald for that number 1 pick.
I'm just saying, hold the line. Give them what you're going to give them. I don't think anybody's going to give what we can.
Would you do it?
Do not give them the farm.
I think that's probably asking too much, because honestly, you're trying to stop a sinking ship by creating another hole with a cork that you're pulling out of one hole and putting it into another hole. You know what I'm saying? So you're still sinking. It's just, what hole are you plugging at that point? And
So
then
you're gonna give everybody everything to get that first round draft pick. Is that what
it
you're gonna
doesn't
do?
make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Not
That's
for a
what I'm
guy
don't
in
do that.
this
And that's
class.
what I'm saying. You hold the line. You have your what you're gonna give, and that's it. And then you go to the next year because we have draft picks the next year, and
And
we
Like
get
I
a
said,
different
I was
quarterback.
just
everyone's
throwing
all
it
up
out
in
there.
arms about that. They don't want to do it.
But listen, I don't think anybody can give what we can give. It's a matter if they believe or not in these quarterbacks. That's really what it is.
So that's where I'm saying the gauge of belief. So like I like study this. This is like my addiction, right? Like I don't do heroin. I watch film. So for me,
I do
like,
Bud Light. Sorry.
good for you, sir. Good for you. I look at Fernando Mendoza and I say, okay, this guy is going to land somewhere between Daniel Jones and, at very best, Jared Goff, right? So he's more mobile than Goff, but he isn't quite as mobile as Danny Jones. And
He's going to be Trevor Lawrence.
see, I thought that initially, but I think he's going to be better than Trevor. I don't think he's got Trevor's arm. I think he doesn't have enough zip on it that you really want for a guy to throw a 10 or 15 yard out. Like, if you watch his film, he literally just floats that thing out there. And in the pros, a 15-yard out is really about 28 yards that you're throwing the ball. So,
Right.
you know, when you like, if anything, you could even make the argument they should be taking a flyer on Drew Aller in the second round, because he has the tangible. I know, and I'm not for it, but if that's the game you want to play, that would be the better argument to make, because of the fact that he has the tangibles. So it's like this draft class has a lot of, low end starters or high end backups, guys that are going to not be a 10-year starter in the league, but they're going to have a career because they're going to bounce around, right? So they're going to be perennial backups that are going to play about 500 football to keep teams afloat and in a playoff race down the line, but they're not going to be able to carry a franchise. And that is not a motherfucker that you go up to get and draft and give up additional assets. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't give a fuck, what people are going to say about AG and how his ass needs to be on the hot seat and get the fuck out if he's not making that move. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about or what they're looking at that point. So for me,
right,
it's like,
and this is the thing. Like I never have convinced myself that like Mendoza is the greatest thing. Like he's a competent quarterback. Like I think in the NFL, I would say he probably would end up ranking somewhere between like 16 and 20. Like he's not ever going to be a top 10 guy, but he's not going to be a very bottom guy either. He's just going to be
But you never know. You never know. You don't know. Nobody knows.
Well, it's okay. You don't know the definite at the end of the day, but you know about where he's going to fall and what it would need to look like for him to succeed at that next level, what you'd have to put around him for him to be his best version of himself. So knowing that, it's like, I know this guy's limitations. I know about how far I'm going to get with him. You look at guys that you're going to compare him to and how far that they've gone, and none of the comparisons that he draws, say even, AFC or NFC championship game in most cases, let alone a Super Bowl. So it's like, to me, that is not worth an investment. Yeah, he just doesn't have the tangibles. Yeah, he's got a great mind, but that's only going to get you so far.
So who's your quarterback next year?
Next year, I right now, gun to my head, it would be between Arch Manning, who definitely needs another year, and
so he's not next year then.
Dylan Raiola. No,
I'm saying next year. Starting quarterback next year for the Jets. Yes.
Oh, 2026. Yeah, honestly, I'd ride it out with Tyrod. I would.
And you got to pick up a veteran. You have to.
Well, that's the thing. To get a veteran, you'd have to cough up a pick or something, in order to get a guy away from a team. And most teams, sign their veteran quarterbacks for 2 years, and they're not just going to give up a Mac Jones.
Tyrod's not going to last a year. You know that. He's not going to last.
I don't disagree, but at the same time, that then creates the narrative from the upper management perspective where they can say, okay, we had our guy that we thought was going to take us to the promised land, because keep in mind that when the Buffalo Bills broke their drought, Tyrod was the guy that took them to the playoffs.
True.
So they could say we're
10
making the
years
argument.
ago.
No, it was like
6
7 or 8
years
years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was like 2018. It was like right before they got Josh, and that was the next year that they traded up to get him. And that could be the same idea, the concept that they try to instill to the public, the fandom, in order to say, this is our plan of action. This is what we want to do. We want to go out and win. This is our guy we think is going to do it, because we clearly just saw Justin Fields couldn't do it, but we saw the play that Tyrod gave us and what he did for everyone else around us in order to show us what kind of talent we actually have on this team. Now we think that we have the right amount of talent, and we're going to go further with this guy until he does go down. And then they sink in the standings. And then all of a sudden you have draft leverage to then have those 3 first-round picks and go up and get your guy.
Sounds good. My question is, it seems like I'm speaking to the right guy. So what do you think of Cook, our third stringer? I guess he's got nothing.
Say it again.
Cook, our third stringer. I guess he's got nothing. It seems like I'm talking to the right guy.
Yeah, no, honestly, I mean,
No.
he was really nothing in college, and he relies too much on his athleticism. I chart the data where I have a breakdown as far as pure pocket passers, mobile quarterbacks, and scrambling guys. The scrambling guys never make it in the pros. It just doesn't happen. When you're passing at an 88+% threshold, you're a pure pocket passer.
What about Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield was about 81 or 82% as far as about when you're a 4 out of 5.
I'm just saying he's like the only exception to that rule, because he's kind of a scrambler and he's done okay.
Look at the percentages. The exceptions to the rule are guys like Lamar Jackson and what's his name, Russell Wilson, because they are at about a 77 to 78% ratio of run to pass. So, like a 23% threshold is really the cutoff, and that's if you're an elite athlete. So from with guys like Brady Cook, I mean, they're just going to be nobodies. And if you want to tank, then you're gonna go put that guy out there, but you're not going to get anything out of him.
Right. Yeah. Listen, I don't expect anything from him. I don't want to see him, because like, if we're truly trying to evaluate our receivers, we're not going to be able to do that, with a late round rookie throwaway quarterback out there. Like,
no, I'm just worried about
him the last game and a half. But before that, I don't want to see Brady Cook.
I know, but I'm worried about Tyrod getting hurt, because Fields is not going to, show us anything either.
Yeah.
Well,
so
you just roll with Tyrod until he does, if he does. I mean, who knows? Maybe he stays healthy.
I hope so, because he didn't look bad.
I really hope
Good
so.
old guy.
I really hope so too.
He's a good locker room guy. He's a good attitude guy. He can clearly push the ball down the field. He's always throwing a good rainbow ball. It's really about keeping him upright. And honestly, the way this line has been playing, I mean, you got a bookend tackle set now. You got a legitimate number one, which honestly, like my pro comp, and I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but I was saying it pre-draft for Membu was Tristan Wirfs. I mean, really? Absolutely, because there's
I'm happy about that.
There's 3 things you got to look for in an elite tackle. If they run a 40-yard dash and a sub 4.5, that guy's elite. I'm sorry, a sub 5 40-yard dash. If they have 33+ inch arms and they bench 225 30+ times, those 3 variables say elite across the board. There's only ever been 4 guys, I think, in history that have that metric, and he's one of them. And another one of them was Tristan Wirfs. I said this guy was going to be it. So for me,
what about Fashanu?
Fashanu is going to be just fine.
It's good.
He's the clear number 2 guy in that draft class behind Joe Alt. And
do we need a center?
Absolutely, no doubt. For me, that's where you would say plug and play Linderbaum, pay him the money. You got the cap space, and then you got all the protection all day for Tyrod to keep him upright.
Yeah, you re-sign Simpson, get Linderbaum, and you got Tipman as your other guard. You let AVT fucking walk, and yeah, our line would be set. And that's the thing is,
that sounds good.
Like, Olu may never be like the top left tackle in the league, but
neither was DeBrickashaw.
He's going to be like DeBrickashaw.
He's solid. Just got to be solid.
And fucking dude, Membu is going to be like our Lane Johnson. He's going to be our right tackle for the next fucking decade.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, our backs are doing a great job of picking up some blitzes. They really are this year.
That's why they got Isaiah Davis in there on third downs, because he's been elite at that.
I don't see anybody blowing anything or weaken down when somebody's coming at them, or they know where they have to go when they're blocking or picking up the blitz. That's a good sign.
By the way, I read that comment a minute ago where Rick said that Sonny Styles sounds more like a stripper name, and
there we go.
I've got to thank you.
They're making a dollar bill
for bringing Red Murdoch back to my attention, because I sent you the clip.
Yeah.
I sent a message in to Trevor Sikkema and Connor Rogers the other day, and it said the better cowboy name for a sheriff in an old western, Red Murdoch or Brew McCoy, which Red Murdoch is a linebacker prospect this year. Brew McCoy was a wide receiver prospect last year. And when they read the comment, like Trevor's like, ooh, and he's like, this is some deep draft knowledge. I like hearing that from a guy like that. And Connor was like, oh, this is good. Like, so they enjoyed that, which Red Murdoch is clearly the better cowboy name. But
no doubt.
Dude, like, it's funny because like last year listening to those guys, and at some point as they were going through receivers, they brought up the name Brew McCoy, which he wasn't a top guy or anything. But like as soon as I heard that name, Brew McCoy, like I just, for whatever reason, that comedian, like You Could Be a Redneck, came to my mind. Like as soon as I heard that name, and I'm like, damn, Brew McCoy, like your parents might be rednecks.
You said Murdoch. I'm thinking of Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, and at any rate, and you know, and then there
I'm
was
too old for this shit.
Like last year, I called Tetro McMillan Tater Tot McMuffin on Boy Green's show. And so I like to have fun with these draft prospects and their names. So,
I do remember that.
Yeah,
Red Murdoch's his real first name is Khalil, but everyone calls him Red.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Listen, I'm going to be splitting, guys. First time talking to you. What's your first name, Balloon?
I'm Zach.
Zach. Nice to meet you, Zach.
Likewise.
Ricky, take it easy, guys.
All right, man. Have a good one, Luppy.
You too.
Yeah, Ricky, while I got you, quick question. Have you ever heard of a mesh velop system?
Yes, I've heard the name, but I couldn't give you specifics right off the top of my head.
So, quick breakdown for you. A mesh velop system is a substitute for a Wi-Fi router. I know that you have a lot of intermittent connectivity issues. If you want to dispel that, I would largely suggest to look at Linksys does a really good one. I actually have it throughout my house. I got 5 of these things. They're like little nodes that you I don't know if I could get you to see this. Hang on. That you put these little things around your house, and they communicate your Wi-Fi message that directly, and it makes for a much more seamless connection with your Wi-Fi.
Nice. You know what? Message me on X and send me the information.
Yeah, you got it. I'll do some blow at the same time. And then I was going to ask you, do you know how much RAM your computer has?
32, I believe.
Okay, well, yeah, that should be okay. So you shouldn't have a connectivity issue at that point, because the RAM, if you have at least 16, shouldn't be glitching out at all like that. So I think it is.
Yeah, when I bought this new laptop, the one I was going to get was like 24, but then because of Black Friday, for like an extra $60 or something, I went ahead and got the one with 32.
Might as well, yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you having me on. As always, love the show, and hope you have a great night.
Right on, man. Appreciate it. And yeah, definitely. And we'll have you back on soon. You always, bring some good stuff to the conversation. So
much
good to have you as always, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good night. All right. Yeah. Definitely some good conversation with both Leppy and Zach. Um, dude, we're gonna be talking about the quarterbacks and if we're gonna trade up, what we would be willing to trade. But you know what? At the end of the day, the Jets are gonna do whatever the Jets are gonna do. And if you had to ask me right now, I would say that they've zeroed in on Mendoza. I know that they've went and looked at a lot of these quarterbacks, but Mendoza's the only one that they've went to 4 separate games and had scouts there watching him. So it seems like they've identified their guy. They've got the ammo to move up and get him. And like I said earlier, I'm not gonna root for losses just for that. Like, I want to win every game we can, and we've got the ammo to move up. So I say, let's win some fucking games, and we can still go up and get our guy.
Now that is a hot take. Damn.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we can win some games and still get a quarterback. So I want to win. I especially want to win this week. I fucking hate Miami. I live in Florida, but I fucking hate the Dolphins. I hate Dolphins fans. They suck. They're awful to listen to. Dolphins fans are like Cowboys fans. Like they talk like they've been, making deep playoff runs every year when neither team has been relevant in quite some time. Can't stand them. I just want to beat them. I could care less. I don't care about a draft pick. I want to beat the fucking Dolphins. At any rate, thank you to everybody for tuning in. I appreciate all of you like always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and I will be back on Saturday night at 8 p.m. and again on Thursday. Hopefully we'll have Jake on sometime next week. As soon as I find out, I will let everybody know. But until then, everybody have a good night and go Jets.